Hey everyone, this is Chris, and tonight, as promised, I'm going to do a video, and I'm going to write the article later. It'll be on www.imtmworldwide.com, on my YouTube pages, and I'll put it out on social media. The video is called Faith Without Works, and in a little bit, you'll get exactly why I titled this particular video that. But just a little bit of a background. A lot of people today feel that they are impossibly stuck where they are at, and they do not believe that they can do anything more than what they are doing. And unfortunately, they will come up with excuses on why they can't do it. The other night, I heard someone say, excuse is the cousin of a lie. So at a certain point, once a person start using those excuses to dissuade themselves from doing something they probably should do or want to do, they were just lying that they wanted to do it in the first place. It's not truthful. So tonight I'm going to talk about 3 examples of people that did not use excuses, did not lie about their goals, their dreams, and when you find out who they are at the end of each story, you're going to be like, wow. Okay? So the first person was born in the year 1890. It's a long time ago, right? Now I'm going to pick up this person's story in the year of 1920. So if you do the math here, I'll help you all out real quick. I was going to try to do it in my head, but I don't do math that well sometimes. Let's see how old this person is when I pick up their story. I don't have nothing but time, so y'all can bear with me, right? Let's see if I can find the calculator on my phone. This is what happens when you do stuff live, right? So 1920 and 1890. So he was 30 years old. Okay. At the year 1920, at 30 years old, this person established a ferry boat company and operated a boat on the Ohio River between Jeffersonville and Louisville. Okay. He tried to get funding, and he was able to become a minority shareholder himself. And then he was appointed secretary of the company. It was actually an instant success. Okay. Now, around 1922, he took a job as a secretary at the Chamber of Commerce in Columbus, Indiana. But he kind of figured out he wasn't really good at the job, and he actually resigned less than a year into it. Okay. He actually cashed in his shares of the ferry boat company for $22,000, and then he used that money to create a company making lamps. Okay. Now that ended up failing because all of a sudden this company called Delco introduced an electric lamp. Okay. So this person moved to Winchester, Kentucky, and he started working as a salesman for the Michelin Tire Company. You've probably heard of Michelin before, right? Now, he ended up losing his job in 1924 when Michelin closed their plant. Now, in 1924, the same year, he met the general manager of a company called Standard Oil of Kentucky. And they asked him to run a service station in a place called Nicholasville. In 1930, that station closed as a result of the Great Depression. You've heard of that before, right? Now, remind you, the theme of this is called Faith Without Works. Okay? So, in 1930, the Shell Oil Company offered this person a service station in Corbin, Kentucky, rent-free, okay, in return for paying them a percentage of sales. Okay? That doesn't sound like a bad deal, right? Now, he started serving things like chicken and other meals, country-fried ham and steaks, and real good home cooking, right? He served the customers in what was the living quarters before he actually opened a restaurant. Okay. He was actually commissioned by someone in 1935 in Kentucky, actually the governor. He was commissioned, this might give it away for some people who I'm talking about, but I have to say it, Kentucky Colonel. Okay. So by 1939, he's gotten pretty popular doing what he's doing. Okay. So let's see what's next. This is one of the things that I'm gonna say this. Listen to these prices and think about today. People were coming to this place that he had, right? And people was coming, and at the time it was 24 hours. Steaks, fried chicken, country ham, hot biscuits, 50 cents to $1, 60 cents to $1. Okay. Now, in 1939, this person acquired a motel in Asheville, North Carolina. Okay. He actually had a restaurant and a motel. It was destroyed by fire in 1939. So he had to rebuild it. And then he rebuilt it as a motel with a 140-seat restaurant. Now, even in the 1930s and 40s, that's huge, right? Okay. So by 1940, see, he had been actually kind of playing around with his own recipe for chicken. Okay. And he finalized what he called his secret recipe in a pressure fryer that cooked the chicken faster than just frying it in a pan. Okay. 1941, World War II came around. Gas was rationed. Tourists stopped coming through. Okay. It was wartime. So he had to close the hotel or the motel he had built. So then he went to work as a supervisor in Seattle until the end of 1942. Okay. He ran a cafeteria for the government there, and he just worked different things. He actually worked as a manager in Tennessee eventually too. Okay. Now, in the 50s, it was around 1952, in between when he started the restaurant, he had to close it down. He created his secret recipe for frying chicken in a pressure fryer. He's come back, and in 1952, that governor again rechristened him the Kentucky Colonel. Okay, so guess what this guy did? He ended up creating a franchise called Kentucky Fried Chicken. Okay, and he became the owner operator of this restaurant. Okay, in the first year of selling the chicken, his restaurant sales more than tripled. Okay, now of course that means he had to open more restaurants, all different places, right? Now he got 4 cents per chicken as a franchise owner. He has franchises. So every chicken that was sold, he's getting 4 cents. Now, in today's money, that don't sound like a lot, but let me keep going. Okay. 1974. Okay. He is 65 years old now. Okay. Now, he has been opening these franchises, right? And now he's starting to, of course, get more money. Okay. So, KFC was one of the first fast food chains to expand internationally. First one was in Canada, then he went to England, then he went to Mexico, Jamaica. That was by the mid of the 1960s. Okay. 600 locations all of a sudden. Now he's getting older, by the way, but he's growing his company. Why? Because he has faith. And then he put some work in between it, right? Now, in 1964, he actually sold the corporation for $2 million to partner up with a younger guy to keep everything going. Okay? He's overseeing all these franchises. As old as he was getting, he was still making sure that everything went correct as he saw fit, as he planned it. Okay? Now, that's about the time where the whole moniker of the Colonel Sanders really took hold, because now he's starting to travel, basically selling the idea of KFC, doing commercials and appearances and things of that nature. And now mind you, he's getting older. Okay? Sometimes he would make surprise visits in some of his stores just to kind of make sure that everything's going right, because guess what? Everything was on his name. So if the gravy was bad, the chicken was burnt, things of that nature, he had to take care of that. Okay? So, Colonel Sanders, Harlan Sanders, Born a long time ago. What year did I say he was born? 1890. He started working at 30, but he didn't start his company until he was older, right? How much did KFC make in the last few years? How much does this company make? Anybody know? Anybody out there know? Let me tell you how much KFC made. As of the year 2013, KFC made $23 billion. This is a person that had all kind of things happen to him, just trying to work, just trying to make money, and then finally decided, you know what, maybe I can do something on my own. Maybe I can do something a little bit better than what's already being done. And it's worth it for me to work as long as I need to make sure it happens. And this company is making $23 billion a year on chicken. I say that's a good example of faith and not without works. But the theme is faith without works. So I'm going to get to that at the end, why I say without works and why I say that. Okay? So, who's the next person? This person, I'm going to try not to give this one away too easily. This person was born in 1918. Okay? I'm not going to tell you where he was born. Okay? And this person, when he, let's see, I'm going to say, I'm trying to read my handwriting here. He graduated high school in 1936. Okay? He was actually named Most Versatile Boy. Okay, whatever that means, right? He stayed in the place he lived, and he actually went to college, and he graduated with a degree in economics. Okay, getting out of college, he started actually in retail. Okay, and he actually started working with J.C. Penney. All right. Back then, at the time, they were really small still. Okay, they're not like the company they are today. World War II comes around, and he actually ended up serving as an Army captain in intelligence. Okay, well, that was pretty interesting, I'm sure, right? Came back in 1945 and used a $25,000 loan to actually buy his first store. Remember I mentioned he was in retail for a long period of time? He graduated with a degree in economics. So he came back from the war determined to do something on his own. He didn't want to work for anybody anymore. Okay, does that sound familiar to anybody out there? Not wanting to work for anybody? Faith without works, right? So this man had faith enough in himself when he came back from the war that he could do something on his own, and he did it. Okay. He acquired a store that was already in existence. It was a franchise called Ben Franklin. Okay. In less than 20 years, okay, he ended up having 15 of these stores to himself. Okay. 15 Ben Franklin stores. Okay. This was a retail chain, by the way, selling things. Okay, I'll say that. All right. But the problem was he was getting frustrated because he kept telling them, you know what, we need to expand in places that are not so much city-wise, but rural, the country. Okay. They said, no, we're good where we are. We're good in the cities. We're good where the metropolitan people are at. That's where we're going to stay. So he said, no, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to create something on my own. That's what he did. So in 1962, he went to Arkansas and he built him a store of his own. Okay. I'm going to jump ahead 14 years and his company was all of a sudden publicly traded. Now, are people, the normal person, willing to work 14 years to where they can get their company to go public? Maybe, maybe not. Faith without works. Put some work into it, have some faith. You never know what might happen, right? 1976. So from 1962 to 1976, he worked hard enough to have his company publicly traded, and the share value was over $176 million. Okay? The early 1990s, fast forwarding a little bit more, stock was worth $45 billion. By 1991, this company had gone past Sears as the country's largest retailer. Okay? Now, again, faith without works. Now, a person that was as smart as this guy and as hardworking as this guy, he could have just kind of stopped and just let things go as, you know, try to, let people know what they need to do. No, he didn't do that. What he did was he woke up at 4:30 in the morning and went to work. He expected results from the people that were beneath him. Okay, the people who he charged with the company's success, right? And he wasn't afraid to change people around if the personnel didn't do what he thought should be done in his stores. It's all about numbers, right? In the 90s, of course, we remember there was a recession, but guess what? His stores still remained profitable. Okay, and in fact, they actually increased sales. Okay, so who is this person? What is this company? What am I talking about right now? In 2014, the company that this guy created made over $482 billion. His name was Sam Walton. The company is Walmart. Okay? Faith without works. You can't have works and not have faith, and you can't have faith without the works. At a certain point, you just have to believe that it's worth it to actually do it, right? Now, this last example is for the women who might be watching this video right now. Okay? This person was born in 1867 in Louisiana. Okay? 1860s wasn't the best time for certain people. I'll just say that, right? And in fact, I'll even be more specific. Her parents and elder siblings were slaves. They were on a plantation. They were owned by somebody. Okay? She was the first child in her family born into freedom. Right after the Emancipation Proclamation. Look it up if you don't know what that means. I hope that you do. Okay? Her mother died in 1872. Okay? Her father remarried and he ended up dying. Okay? Passing away. So she was an orphan, age 7. Okay? Moved in with her older sister and brother. Okay? At the age of 14, she married somebody. Okay? And in 3 years, she actually had a daughter of her own. Okay? Now, when this person was 20, her husband passed away. Okay? This ain't going too well so far, right? Faith without works, so keep that in mind. Fast forward, she moved to St. Louis where her 3 brothers lived. Okay? They happened to be all barbers at a local barber shop. So she ended up getting a job as a washerwoman. Let me tell you how much she was making. $1 a day. Barely that. Okay? She wanted to make enough money so her daughter would be able to receive a formal education. Mind you, this is in the 1870s. This is all going on. Okay? But that's something relatable, right? A mother wanted her daughter to go to school and wanting to make enough money to make that happen. How much is college today? If you have a daughter right now and she's not 18 years old yet, how much is it going to cost to get her into college as of right now? Okay? So this person, let's fast forward, she experienced a scalp disorder and lost a lot of her hair because of the products that had lye in it. You have to look that up. But in soap back then, they put a lot of abrasive stuff in things where we wouldn't use them today, but they did back then. Okay? And also because most back then didn't have indoor plumbing, didn't have central air, didn't have electricity for the most part. People didn't really bathe and wash that much, especially their hair. Okay? So she started learning about the importance of hair care from her brothers. And again, because they owned a barbershop, right? So around 1904, let's jump ahead a little bit. We're in the 1900s now. A new century has passed. She becomes a commission agent selling products for a person, Annie Turnbow Malone. Okay, she was an African-American hair care entrepreneur. So for commission only, she started selling these products for this person. So she started working with Annie, and she started growing her knowledge of hair and hair products. Okay, she eventually moved to Denver to work on her own hair care products. Okay, she ended up getting married again, a newspaper guy, and She ended up creating a name for herself, which I'll mention a little bit later. Okay. She became an independent hairdresser and then also a retailer of cosmetic creams. Okay. Now, after marrying this newspaper guy, he started providing advice on how to advertise and promote the stuff that she was making. Okay. Now, what she did was start to train women to become beauty culturists. That's what she called them. And to learn the art of selling. Okay. In 1906, she ended up putting her daughter in charge of mail order operation that she created, while she and her husband traveled throughout the South and the East to expand the business. Okay. Now, while her daughter was running the mail order business from Denver, okay, her husband and this person traveled the country, as I mentioned. They ended up settling in the city of Pittsburgh in 1908 and opened a college to train these hair culturists. Okay, in 1910, this person moved to Indianapolis, where she established and built her headquarters, had a factory, a hair salon, a beauty school to train the sales agents and all these other people. She ended up adding a laboratory to help with research. Okay. At that point, she was becoming real successful. She expanded into Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, Panama, Costa Rica. Remember, we're talking about hair now, right? Sounds familiar a little bit now, right? Now, inspired by the model of the National Association of Colored Women, she began to organize her sales agents into local and state clubs. In 1917, she created the first annual conference of culturists in Philadelphia. Okay. During this convention, she gave prizes not only to women who had sold products, but and brought in the new sales agents, but also to those who had contributed the most to charity in their community. See, she also wanted to be able to give back. Remember, she stressed the importance of philanthropy and political engagement. Okay, this had a huge impact on expanding her business even further. Okay. She started her own mail order business to keep up with her sales. Okay, and again, putting her daughter in charge of it. See, right now you can kind of tell she's done what she wanted to do in regards to putting her daughter in a better place, right? What's the theme? Faith without works. She began to teach and train other black women in women's independence, budgeting, and grooming to help them grow their own businesses. She gave lectures on political and economic and social issues at conventions sponsored by powerful black institutions. In 1917, she started the Hair Culturist Union of American Convention. I almost gave you her name that time, which ended up being the first national meeting of American women brought together to discuss business and commerce. Okay. She became involved in political matters, joined the executive committee of Silent Protest Parade. It was a public demonstration of more than 8,000 African Americans to protest a riot that killed 39 African Americans. That sounds familiar to our time too, right? So, in 1917, she commissioned somebody to be the first licensed black architect in New York State, okay, to design a house for her. Okay, the house cost $250,000 to build. She moved into it May 1918. Okay, big time thing. So, who's this person? I would tell you more, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you who this person is. First of all, I'm gonna tell you how much her company ended up making, because one of the things is about this person, she became the first self-made woman millionaire. Okay, her company at the time, in today's dollars, I didn't get the time to do the math of it, but her company was earning over $3 million a year. Back then, that was a lot of money. Okay, the name of this person is Madam C.J. Walker. Okay, hair queen extraordinaire, I'll say. Okay, and she was black. Okay, now of course, I use that person as an example last, just, because there's going to be people who are watching this, of course, things that are happening today. At the end of the day, no excuses, right? She had all kinds of things happen within her family, personally, right? But she had a goal, she had a dream, she had an incentive, and she said, you know what? I'm going to make this happen. Colonel Sanders say, you know what? I know I'm old. I'm going to make this happen. Sam Walton say, you know what? I might not know as much as everybody else, but I know one thing. I know retail. I'm going to make this happen. No one wants to listen to me? Fine. People want to tell me that I'm not the truth? Fine. People want to call me a scam? Fine. People tell me that, no. Madam C.J. Walker, same thing. Shoot, she was black. And she became an international hair care product business owner. Made a lot of money. So what is the point with the faith without works? Faith without works, you have to be able to put the work in whatever it is. Because again, you're the only guarantee in the equation. Nobody can guarantee you anything. But you can guarantee something that you want because you do it every day. You don't say that you can't get to your child, when they need help, do you? You make it happen. And you make it happen every day when you go to work. There's no reason yet you don't go to work, right? You have to get there. Whatever you got to do, you always make that happen, right? With no guarantees, right? So what's the difference when you want to do something on your own? Faith without works. And as I wrap this video up, almost 26 minutes, okay. As I wrap this video up, again, I'm going to repeat. The word excuse is a cousin of a lie. And at a certain point, you can only put up so many excuses that are going to hinder you from what you need to be able to do with your life. It's easier to be content with how things are. It's easier. Yes, it is. And sometimes it can be scary to say, you know what, I want to do more, but I'm scared. And that's fine. It's fine to be apprehensive. But you can't just not try. That's not fair to everybody who you care about that you want to do more for, is it? For you to not try. Because if Sam Walton didn't try, if Colonel Sanders didn't try, if Madam C.J. Walker didn't try, think about all the people that wouldn't have had an opportunity to do more in their lives without them. What if they had just quit right off the jump? What if that secret recipe of Colonel Sanders didn't fly? Right? What if Sam Walton decided just to keep those stores, just to keep the 13 stores and say, okay, well, yeah, y'all right. We'll just stay in the big cities. We won't go to the country. What if Madam C.J. Walker said, you know what? I'm going to just stay at this barbershop and make $1 a day. At a certain point, you can't let fear of failure stop you. And with some people, it's not even fear of failure. It's fear of success. What happens if I do make all the money in the world? What if all the money in the world is plopped into my lap? What would happen? How can I deal with that? You got to change your mind about your life, and you got to do it now because you don't know what might happen. And you got to be able to be prepared to take care of the people that you need to, no matter what might happen to you. Right? If that matters. Now, if it doesn't, of course, you can keep doing what you're doing if you're doing well. But if you're not doing well, you're not doing well, when are you going to change it? That's the real question. Faith without works. When are you willing to do something different than what you've been doing that hasn't been successful and you know it hasn't been successful? At a certain point, you got to suck it up and say, you know what? My pride, get rid of it. What I was doing wasn't working. I need to do something different. And I'm willing to try now. Whatever I got to do, I'm going to do it because I've been doing it already for someone else. And it hasn't got me anywhere. I'm still broke. I've been breaking my back for years and still broke. So in this last minute, again, faith without works. Please just keep that thought in mind from now on, whatever you do every day. You can go the extra mile. Whatever you got to do it. Prioritize. And if what I say sounds like it makes some kind of sense, please hit me up. Feel free. Business line 305-204-1826 because I'm going to be doing more workshops to help people do more. Okay. You can email me, chris.royster13@gmail.com. And hopefully a few of you will appreciate what I mentioned, these stories that I mentioned, backgrounds of people who've done great things, and they didn't let excuses stop them. This is Chris, and I hope you all enjoy it. I bid y'all good night.